So I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater. It was pretty good. I was actually surprised. It was actually pretty good. I wasn't planning on seeing it. Someone had an extra ticket, and so I got to see it and enjoyed it. Like I said, I wasn't planning on seeing it. I haven't seen any other Deadpool movies. Don't feel like I was missing anything. I don't like that character. I like Wolverine, like Logan, um, what's his name? He plays Logan. I like that guy. I like him as Wolverine. Um, I can't remember. Hugh Jackman. I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's obviously born to play Wolverine, and it's great to have Wolverine back. Um, would like to see Wolverine in other movies instead of just being like Deadpool and Wolverine 2 or anything like that. Although, I imagine they could do that. Do have to say, as much as I did enjoy the movie, it was fun. Liked a lot better than I expected to. It was enjoyable to see. There were some fascist, Nazi, Trumpy things in it. And as a good anti-fascist, I can't really let that go without commenting on it. So spoiler alert, I'm just going to tell you about the fascist things, nothing to do with the plot. Um, Nothing much to do with the plot anyway. So not really a spoiler alert. But the first one, let's see, there's like four that really stood out to me. See if I can remember them all now. The first one was he says something about not really having, or he's not going to express his opinions on certain hot button topics. Like he mentions different hot button topics, or like, climate change and some other things. But he's not going to express his opinion on it. Now, that in itself, not talking about stuff when these issues are important and rights are at threat, the world is at threat, things like that, is fascist. And so being like, hey, I'm the hero of the story and I'm not going to discuss these things, or I'm going to leave my uh, allegiance vague in these discussions, is a fascist thing to do. Basically, because you wouldn't admit if you believe the fascist things, hopefully in good or mixed company, but you obviously do if you're not going to say it. I saw something recently about people on dating profiles who say they don't really have political thoughts, or just covering up the fact that they are conservative, and no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to be around those people. So anyway, and there's a lot of reasons why no one want to be around Deadpool, but this is one of them, and maybe that's part of the character. Like as I said, I don't really pay attention to that character. I've never really liked that character in the Marvel universe, but anyway, still a good movie, still enjoyable, but too much fascism. There's a part where he literally calls somebody a round earther, implying that he's a flat earther. Again, Nazi ideology, Trump-Putineer things that only Trump-Putineers, trolls, and stuff believe, or people who get duped into that for some reason. That they really are that mistaken about the shape of the earth. Anyway, that was the second one. He also mentioned something about somebody mishears him saying a word, and he says, "Oh, I wouldn't have said that word. I don't want the woke mob to cancel me again, or to cancel me when I'm already, I'm already, uh, whatever." Point being, referring to the woke mob as if they're going to cancel him, and it's just patronizing alt-right BS. But the most alt-right BS is the underlying multiverse thing. And it's not strictly fascist, but it is. There's a reason why fascists take up the idea of the multiverse so much. It's in Marvel comic books, I guess it's fine. I thought it was tiresome even then in the comic books, but I guess it's fine for being able to tell different stories. But to like insist upon it or rely too much upon it, or make it too important, is just not good. And there's even a scene where he talks about the multiverse, and how it's a played out concept, or the Wizard of Oz did it first and did it best, is what he says. Except that the Wizard of Oz is not the multiverse. The Wizard of Oz is fairyland within the earth. It's not expressed that much in the movie. It's made out to be a dream in the movie, which is like fish washing, the great thing like the Grateful Dead, trying to throw people off the trail. But Oz is a fairyland separated by certain barriers, where no money and no war exist in that fairyland, on the earth, in the earth, whatever you want to call it, like in the world that we live in. There can be multiple dimensions in the world that we live in, but it's this one universe. There's not some other universe where decisions were made differently and we're all the same people. And that's just some sort of fantasy that allows people to feel a little bit less concern about destroying this universe and planet that we have. And it applies in lots of different ways, but again, a fascist concept that Marvel didn't maybe come up with, or use in order to promote fascism, because Marvel is generally not like that. Although I can't speak for the people who made Deadpool, but it is used that way, or it is something that fascist people get into more than, the red pillars, the red pill group from that, misunderstand the Matrix and make it the basis for libertarian terrorist philosophy. So anyway, those are the major problems I saw in Deadpool versus Wolverine. And I say that, by far the worst part of the movie is the fascism. And I say that, knowing full well that Ryan Reynolds is the person playing Deadpool. But, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And there was probably more fascism in it than that. Those are just things that stood out the most strongly to me. And I'm not saying that it's a fascist movie, that it promoted fascism, although promoting any fascism is promoting too much fascism overall. But just maybe that, again, that's true to his character. There's something wrong with his character in that way, more than just the other things that you can think of that are wrong with his character. But anyway, it was a fun movie. Thanks, everybody. The jokes and stuff, the action and stuff were pretty good. So thanks for that. And just either cut out the fascism, don't make it the joke where you're obviously making fun of it, instead of people sympathizing with the flat earther criticizing the round earther. Or explain to me if I'm not getting that in some way that it makes it okay. But more, don't make it okay. Don't make it just casual that, how you believe in science and other things like that. Yeah, vaccines is one of the things he mentions that he's not going to give his opinion on. It's like, well, if you have an opinion on that goes along with the genocidal maniacs who turn the Trump virus into genocides all over the world with their specific lies, if your opinion aligns with them, like say Russell Brand or Novak Djokovic or somebody like that, then you're terrible and no one needs to hear your opinion. Your opinion in that case does not matter because you're a terrible person. So anyway, things like that where, it's a little too fascist, but at least they're kind of expressing it, so at least we can talk about it. But again, back to the very first one I mentioned where he's like, oh, I'm not going to really express my opinions. Well, we do need to talk about this stuff because this stuff is threatening to destroy the world, country, and everything. We need to do something about it to stop it. Wolverine style. But anyway, enjoy Deadpool versus Wolverine. Hope I didn't spoil anything for you, but let me know in comments or look out for any other signs of fascism that we need to expunge and expose. Thanks. Have fun. See you at the movies.